This is an Audio Wool original.
This episode of Frightday is brought to you by Gates of Hell Chipotle Hot Sauce by Frightday. Bold chipotle flavor blended with habanero peppers for just the right burn. Kissed with garlic and passion fruit. Zero human blood, like none at all. Visit shop.frightday.com before the first batch disappears.
Hey guys, thanks for listening. If you'd like to support us, go to patreon.com/frightday.
I love it.
I think it would be a good thing.
Byron, you're doing this whole fake, not sociopath thing super well. I'm very
trying.
impressed.
I'm working on it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna trick the world.
You're going to trick the world, and then they're going to find you in a Honda Fit with some neck tattoos. And
Cut it out.
You're
Come
not gonna
on.
do that.
Start the show.
I know you're not going to do that.
It is Frightday. I'm your host, Byron. Sights, sounds, tastes, ways of life. Oh, the joys of foreign surroundings. A language barrier can be troublesome, but tolerable when it's something small, like asking what's in the Shorba de Berta, or when the next train leaves. But early excitement of exploring as an expat can quickly fade, replaced with loneliness and isolation. The only thing that could possibly make this situation feel worse would be having your every move looked upon by a serial killer stalker. We'll talk about that tonight as we review Chloe Okuno's Watcher. I'm joined tonight by Kelly.
Hello.
And Sam can't make it because he's working late. He's got all those inside jokes to make.
He does have so many inside jokes to make. She was way classier than I ever would have been, I'll tell you that much.
Okay, you've smashed a champagne flute in your day.
Well, I mean, I've never really been in one of... Actually, it kind of was in one of those scenarios.
Excuse me?
And I did lose my shit.
Let's talk about that later.
Yeah, let's do.
But for now, you're getting ready to get out of town.
Getting out of Dodge.
What the hell are we doing? Now you're tricking me into going to the coast again?
Yeah, so weird. It is like a revolutionary, unprecedented event.
It's almost like a yearly thing at this point.
It is. I love traditions. You know,
You have had a busy summer. How are you feeling?
I mean,
tired.
I am really tired.
Me too.
But I'm at this place where... So as you know, I did a bunch of like fun Festivus pretend I don't hate my country events this last weekend.
Oh, great.
Okay?
Yeah. Since when was the 4th of July about the United States? To me, it's just about burgers and blowing stuff up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Uh-oh, am I in trouble with the Patriots?
I think you are.
Oh, no.
I think you are.
Come on, guys.
Speaking of which, have you listened to Sage's Makeshift Patriot album recently?
Sage Francis?
Makeshift Patriot, the flag shop is out of stock. I hang myself at half-mast. Makeshift Patriot, the flag shop is out of stock. I hang myself at half-mast.
Absurd how relevant, like way more relevant than it was. Even.
I don't know.
You should really listen.
It was post 9/11. I think it
It's-
was pretty primed.
It is so much more though. It is
great.
very weird.
It's a fun album.
I was very bummed because Sam wouldn't participate in any of these things with me. And so I was like running the kids around solo all over the fucking state.
Sparklers?
And was real exhausted. Oh yeah, we did sparklers, we did giant
Morning Glories are the metal ones.
Morning Glories are the
Pink stick.
The pink like
got the little-
ombre
yeah,
dealy bobs. But we didn't do those. We did like metal ones that were this long.
So dangerous.
Really fun.
You ever step on one of those hot ones after they're done? No.
Always you stick them in the nearest
Water.
Great. Yeah, very
Responsible.
important. Very responsible. So the upshot was I came back from these gallivantings around exhausted because I had not slept. And then I came home and have not slept the last 2 nights either.
Yeah.
This isn't like a thing of pride. My body is just programmed where I can do a few like pretty low sleep nights and still function.
Yeah.
Whereas Sam really can't. Like he is one of those people
like
that
me.
Yeah, he needs like 8 is minimum for him.
Yeah.
He doesn't do well on less than 8 for like multiple nights in a row. It's very bad.
We I'm talking about Sam and I.
Yeah.
We get the constant headache when we don't sleep.
It's also, you get that because you go 4 days without drinking a glass of water.
I am drinking
Yeah?
all kinds of beverages. 3 at a time. It's been
Work
a bit.
on the water. Yeah, the water is like the only one
I
that
got
really
a Topo
matters.
Chico on my...
There is a lot of water in that. That's
I think
fine.
it's mostly water.
It is mostly
Some
water.
mineral, but
Maybe a bit of mineral.
lot of
Hopefully it's
bubbles.
not depleting minerals. Okay, the point is,
my bones.
just when I was about ready to break because I'm so exhausted, like Sam is in just the best fucking mood because he didn't have to do all the things that I wanted him to do.
Spoken like a woman who killed Sam 6 months ago and is pretending
I
he's still
came
alive.
home and he had the girls fully packed for vacation.
Okay.
Did 25 loads of laundry this weekend.
That's great.
Lawn mowed. It was very nice. So it turns out that I need to just like not make him do things more often and maybe he'll be more helpful.
Oh, great.
So yeah, I'm doing all right. I mean, I'm running low on sleep.
Yeah, me too. I spent all 4th of July writing that.
I am still so whiplashed from that episode.
Yeah,
I don't even know what to do.
Maybe I should have slept a little bit before writing it, but I think it was fun.
It was very fun. It has, you know, what I like about it, it gave me an opening to
No.
do some things that I want to do. I
we-
like that.
My experimental writing shouldn't be a cue for you
It is.
to
It's go time.
Come on.
It's go time.
All right,
It's
well,
fine. You'll be fine.
It is go time. Called going into work time because these DVD copies of The Interpreter aren't going to put themselves away. It's time for staff picks.
They say so much, but they never tell you if it's any good.
Werewolf movie with E.T.'s mom in it.
The howling horror straight ahead.
Who's in The Interpreter?
Nicole Kidman, Sean Penn. It's a movie about an interpreter at the UN who overhears someone from some country discussing an assassination plot. However, eventually folks start to suspect her. Never seen it. Came out in 2005, though. It's definitely on the shelf. A lot of copies. Check it out.
Okay.
Where are you starting this week? You got a suggestion to put on that staff pick wall?
Yeah, I actually have a dual suggestion.
Two. Good.
Okay.
I'll make up for my
I mean,
half-assed
it's honestly like just two sides of the same coin, though. It's not truly two unique ones. I'm going to tell you a little story. I have an English degree. I'm not sure if you're aware of that.
So now you're bragging.
Yeah, because an English degree, that's like saying you got a fucking communications degree.
I have an 1/8 of a general arts degree.
You know what that means, though? That means you quit before you lost money on the deal.
That is kind of true.
Because so many people I know like tough it out through that 4-year degree.
I mean, you are a college preparation advisor.
Yeah, but I am the least educated of anyone
All right. What would you
that I
watch?
employ. Anyhow, I got through most of high school and a lot of college without reading much.
Really?
This is actually probably one of the root points, Byron, of the work that I do with you that infuriates you. I became really good at bullshitting and filling in blanks and like,
I wouldn't say it infuriates me. I am jealous that you can wing it when I have
Well,
to literally write down every word I say.
it used to give me ulcers and then I started taking medicine and now I can roll with it. So it's great. But one of the books that I encountered when I became a tutor that I'd never read in high school, you know how did you read Count of Monte Cristo?
I don't think
in high
so.
school.
No.
There are a small number of books that kids have to read in high school that they don't hate, and obviously the bar is pretty low
You love
because
Gatsby's.
I love Gatsby, though Sam fucking hates it.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan.
Love it. Okay. Count of Monte Cristo is good.
Yeah, I cliff noted every single book
I did with most.
in your mother's English class.
Oh, I'm sure you did.
Yeah.
Which is still more effort than most kids put in these days. But there was a book written in 1938 that was on the reading list for a lot of kids junior year when I started tutoring.
This is a video store?
The book was called Rebecca, a tale, Byron, of gaslighting. And it's like a noir thing, and it's kind of a
Are you
mystery.
so this is truly a recommendation of a book? Right
Well,
now?
no.
Okay,
Listen.
Okay, I'm
Listen.
sorry. I need to be more patient.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Fucking no shit, you do.
Spoken like someone who doesn't want to learn about the history of
Shopping carts. It was then adapted into a movie in 1940 starring none other than Laurence Olivier, which is why I was calling your dog Olivier
Oh, there he
earlier.
is. Sleeping
right?
over here.
See, that's where that came up. All right. Now, this movie is a fucking classic. Byron, it has an 8.1 with 136,000.
Yeah, but it's a horror film.
It is.
Really?
Yeah. I mean,
Oh.
it's film noir mystery. It's Alfred Hitchcock. So it's like,
Okay.
Yeah.
That'll pass.
a story of a woman who has this whirlwind romance, marries a really, really rich dude, comes to his giant English estate, meets his family.
I think I've seen the movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
This movie was then remade a couple years ago. And actually, when it was remade, it flew under the radar for reasons that will become evident in a moment. But the director is one of your faves. It's good old Wheatley.
Ben Wheatley.
Yeah, the remake of this.
And what's it called?
Rebecca.
The terrace is for guests only.
Monsieur, the young lady will be joining me. What did you do?
I'm a lady's companion.
Maxim de Winter. His wife died last year and is in dire need of company.
I'm Monsieur de Winter.
What are you doing?
Oh, you'll see.
This week, I'd like to never forget it.
Come to Manderley. I'm asking you to marry me, you little fool. Mrs. De Winter, may I present Mrs. Danvers?
Welcome to Manderley.
But you see, the leading fella got himself in a bit of trouble. And amidst his cancellation, there were some tangential cancellations. And so fucking Army tanked this. But I still really...
Army Hammer.
Yeah. I still really want to see it because it's a great story. And I really like Lily James a lot.
Yeah, she's great. It does look like it is available now on Netflix.
Oh, yeah. It was a Netflix movie. It's just... It came out October of 2000. And this was right when shit was hitting the fan with Army. The whole premise is this giant estate may or may not be haunted by her new husband's first wife.
Oh, okay.
Rebecca.
Yes.
Okay. Kristen Scott Thomas. The original was phenomenal, and I am committing to watching the remake because I feel like Wheatley and James should not suffer because Armie Hammer is a sociopath.
Wow.
Not because of the things he's into, but because of forcing those things onto people who aren't into them.
Yes.
Just to be very
Keep
clear.
that in mind.
Yeah.
We don't kink shame. Just make sure it's consensual, okay?
No, whatever you're into, man.
Yeah.
Go to town. Just make sure that the other person's into it too.
Well, great.
So, Rebecca, amazing inspirational point for a lot of gaslighting stories, and I think that our movie tonight definitely falls into that same.
Sure.
Check them out, folks. Read the book, watch both movies. Those are my trifecta of staff picks.
Well, this week, disappointing blind recommendation of a film from the year 2000.
No.
Yes.
You aren't.
The Watcher.
No, you aren't.
For Detective Joel Campbell, the case that never closed.
His last alias was David Allen Griffin. I worked the case for 3 years in Los Angeles. We attributed at least 11 homicides to him.
Is coming back to haunt him.
What's he doing in Chicago? I assume he's still strangling young women with piano wire. There's a story, a ritual that he follows. Over the years, I became part of the story. What do you think the chances are he's watching us right now?
I know your job is hard, Joel, so I'm willing to take steps to try and make things work between us. I'll send you a picture, and you can have a day to try to find it.
Perfect. Now, the killer he couldn't stop.
Don't play hard to get. This will be fun.
Has come calling.
We have received another photograph.
For his next victim.
Do you think some of your patients might pay to come to see you because you're very pretty?
The Watcher.
Yeah, I am. The Watcher is an exciting psychological thriller that takes a unique look into the minds of both the serial killer and the man who must reluctantly pursue him. In an almost Hitchcockian way, the film quickly introduces us to the killer, David Allen Griffin, played by Keanu Reeves, who for many years preyed on lonely young women in the Los Angeles area. The story is set up to create a taut cat-and-mouse game between Griffin and FBI agent Joel Campbell, played by James Spader. How could this thing be a stinker?
Spader, Reeves, yeah.
Yeah, it just screams of early 2000s premium cable, like HBO weekend watching. I haven't seen it again, but it has a Marissa Tomei. It's got an Ernie Hudson. It's also got an 11% on Rotten Tomatoes. That doesn't scare me even a little bit, Kelly.
I feel like Clifford has a pretty low rating on Rotten Tomatoes,
right?
too.
See, but that's a comedy. This is a taut cat and mouse thriller directed by Joe Carbonick. What's he
fucking
up to?
terrible facial hair setup
Leave his
he's got
facial
going on
hair
there.
alone.
Oh, Clifford's got a 5.4.
Really? Wow. This guy hasn't done too much. Date Night the Watcher. 311 music video for Do You Right. That's kind of fun. But if you think this is fun, if you've seen it, let me know if I should actually watch it. Tweet me at Byron McKoy on Twitter or Instagram. Byron@frightday.com is my email address. I want to hear from you. Thanks.
Wow, B.
Yeah.
You really put everything into those shopping carts.
Okay, well, I'm going to say that before we lock up, I'm going to need you to go get the carts.
Fuck you.
I'd also like to take a second to welcome and initiate some new members to the Frightday Society. Dreadful Jubilee.
Oh, that is a lovely name.
Thank you and welcome to the FDS.
Cherry's Jubilee?
Dreadful.
Cherry's Just.
If you wanna sign up with a fun moniker like that, I don't mind that one bit. Folks at home,
gosh,
let's get creative.
That is a great name. We need to
What are we gonna make them do for us?
I would like to learn something about Romania.
Why don't you do some digging on Romania? One of the spookiest things that you could find about Romania.
Was Transylvania part of Romania?
I think it's in the region, but let's get creative.
I wonder if Vlad was technically within current borders of.
Thanks, Dreadful Jubilee. And then we've got someone who paid a bit more and found themselves in the inner circle, the IC, of course, which, Kelly, it's your turn to write the mailing list.
Yes, it's going to be the first page of my story about Bulbados.
No, you can put the whole thing in there.
No, I can't
page
put the whole
one?
thing.
Okay,
just page one.
You owe everyone a Moon newsletter as well.
I do. Do you
well,
have a
not
pen?
everyone.
Can I borrow a pen?
The members of the inner circle. Lindsay G, thank you and welcome.
Grazie.
What are we going to make Lindsay do?
Lindsay, I want 4 suggestions for Turkey Month.
No.
Yes.
Coming right around June.
It sure is.
June, August, September, October, November. That's 5 months. That's a lot of preparation for Turkey Month. Kelly@frightday.com is our email address.
Excellent pen.
You like that? I got a whole bunch of them.
It is very Asian.
Well, it is Japanese. So there you go. You can have this one.
Don't give me... These are probably $15 pens.
No, they're actually pretty cheap, but I chew on this one, so...
Oh, I chew on all of mine.
Yeah.
Right.
There you go. You're very welcome. And thank you so much, everyone. If you want to join the Frightday Society, go to cult.frightday.com, sign up, and there you get access to over 80 episodes of Behind the Screams. That's, of course, the show behind the show. Cinema Autopsy. It's where we talk over flicks. There's a lot of those there as well. Toast to Toast PM with Wine Kelly. Byron Serial Corner, bonus episodes of Captain Kelly's Cryptids and Conspiracies, and so much more. All at cult.frightday.com.
Oh, I still owe my white wine recommendations, don't I?
Oh, yeah, I think
Byron,
you do.
I've been getting some input that people want a parenting podcast for me.
We're not going to do that. I don't want...
Fans are reaching out.
It seems like something that would put me in legal jeopardy.
How?
Because you give poor advice that could...
Oh, it wouldn't be advice. It would just be storytelling.
Oh.
I'm not qualified to give advice.
I was going to say.
I mean, unless it's about college admissions, then I'm pretty qualified. But other than that...
We talked a lot about what we've watched. It's time to talk more about a film about watching.
Nope.
Okay, you do it.
Ever seen Watcher in the Woods?
No, I haven't.
That really needs to be on a list. Somebody needs to watch that and discuss that. Like
a lot of people have seen it.
It is so good.
All right.
It's a classic, B.
Unfortunately, we're not talking about that Watcher.
We're just talking about The Watcher. No
not
Woods.
Even the.
Watcher just.
It's time to talk about Watcher.
We hope you're enjoying your visit here this evening. Now, on with the show.
Watcher is a 2020 American psychological thriller film written and directed by Chloe Okuno, based on an original screenplay by Zach Ford. A young American woman moves with her husband to Bucharest and begins to suspect that a stranger who watches her from the apartment building across the street may be a local serial killer decapitating women. We've seen something by Chloe Okuno before.
Really? Have we?
Yeah, it's not her 2014 short Slut, which got her a lot of attention, about a naive young girl who became the target of a murderous psychopath when she attempts to reinvent herself to impress the boys in her small Texas town. Pretty well regarded, but, it was actually during the last time we were in Oregon.
No way!
We watched her segment in VHS
94.
That's correct.
Hot dog, Storm Drain. Remind me which one that was.
I believe that's the one with Ratma, right? Big drink of water.
Humdinger. It is. I actually like that one.
I think one of the best of that, right?
Fascinating. What's her background? Give me the lowdown on good old Chloe.
Gotta tell you, lowdown, don't know much. Born in Los Angeles, graduated from the University of California, Berkeley. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Berkeley's great.
Yeah.
No, Berkeley's really good. It's an adjustment. I actually talked a lot about Berkeley this week.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, and then
but
she
it's
also
great.
graduated from the American Film Institute in 2014, the same year that Slut came out. In 2021, Netflix purchased Rodney and Cheryl, which, very excited about this. It's the story of Rodney Alcala, a serial killer known as the dating game killer.
Really?
Unfortunately, in April of 2022, it was revealed that Netflix was no longer involved with the film, and they renamed it The Dating Game. And it's now being financed by AGC Studios and Vertigo Entertainment. I don't know what the deal is with it.
Can we talk about one of her primary inspirations?
I'd love to hear about it.
Senor John Carpenter.
I could see it.
Yeah.
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 Can you believe he's still doing stuff?
Did you go with us when we
Yes,
went and
I
saw him?
did,
That
yeah.
was so cool.
Yeah,
I'm really glad we did that.
Went to Oregon and watched John Carpenter and his son play music. I think it was on that first tour back.
It's one of those things that you ever feel that way with concerts or shows in general, and you're like, God, it seems like a good idea, and then it creeps up, and you're like, it's gonna be a fucking pain in the ass to make this happen. And then you're always really glad you did, because you never know when you might not have a chance to do that again.
Yeah, it is, just say yes more often, I guess.
Yeah, unless you're talking to Army, then only say yes if you really want to.
You're still hung up on that Army Hammer stuff.
It's really, I think I'm annoyed because I watched Death on the Nile. Really liked it.
Was it good?
And he's just ruining shit, and it makes me mad.
Oh, he was in that, huh?
Oh, yeah. He caused big problems. Okay, so listen to this. This is what Chloe said about the Alcala story. You want to hear it?
I would love to. I mean, usually we save this kind of stuff for the end after we talk about the movie and what's next.
I was already aware of the Rodney Alcala story prior to reading the script. He's a serial killer who operated largely in the 70s throughout California, was convicted of murdering 5 women, but is believed to be responsible for potentially dozens more.
Yeah.
He also appeared on The Dating Game in 1978 after he'd already murdered at least one woman. I watched the clip of his appearance on the show and found it deeply strange and unsettling.
It is.
Ian McDonald's very brilliant script is inspired by the real-life Bachelorette on the show, Cheryl Bradshaw.
Mm-hmm.
The film allows us to explore not just Rodney Alcala, the killer, but also the larger culture that allowed him to flourish.
Very interesting.
It builds in a very basic contrast between the two different realities. There is this reality of The Dating Game, which presents a cartoonish, hyper-idealized version of the way men and women interact.
Yep.
Then there's the reality that Cheryl encounters in her day-to-day life as a woman and working actress, which is a much darker proposition. I like you, Chloe. Well spoken you are.
It's a really interesting story. If anyone ever comes up to you trying to take a picture, saying that you're pretty and they want you to model for them, just say no. Unless they have a really big TikTok audience.
I feel like you're in the TikTok audience.
Let's be careful.
They might be building a TikTok audience so that they can kill somebody
so they can
on a stream. Yeah. Alcalia?
Alcalia.
Oh, God, there's a lot of bad stuff we could do with that.
Pardon me. I apologize.
Yep.
Let's jump into The Watcher, though. I know that this premiered...
Ooh, this is also, she has a motto, Byron, that is, sounds like your motto. Acceptable is not acceptable.
Oh, no. She's a me.
She is a you. I wonder if she's single.
March 2021, it was announced that Maika Monroe, Carl Glushman...
That guy is a great and terrifying actor.
Yeah, and Bern Gorman would star in the film, and principal photography began March 8th of 2021 and concluded April 16th in Bucharest, Romania. Shot on location. It took about 6 weeks in total and premiered at the 2022 Sundance Film Festival on January 22nd, 2022. A lot of twos there. And later, IFC Midnight and Shudder acquired the film. I think this is the first collaboration between IFC Midnight and Shudder, which is kind of interesting.
And it was a Shudder movie, but it didn't come out on Shudder.
Which is weird. It's like Shudder as a production company, not necessarily as a distributor, which is...
Yeah, very strange.
Yeah. They picked it up, and shortly after, the worldwide rights sold outside of North America with Focus Features, which I would say when this started, like, visually... No offense, IFC Midnight. We've seen some great cinematic stuff from you.
But it was a level up from you.
This is a beautiful film. The cinematography.
That was really good.
That was me.
That was you. It's been you the whole time.
For my payment to Hulu, it says. Guess how much I pay?
I don't know.
$19.99.
Why?
No ads. It also played a lot of different festivals. I know that it screened at South by Southwest, and I didn't go to it. It was also at the Telluride Horror Show, I believe. That's where our writer Jacob caught it, and he enjoyed it quite a bit.
Oh, I feel bad. Weren't we going to talk to Jacob about this?
Jacob lost as a patron. Someone called him an edgelord and canceled their subscription.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I know.
Like from the episode he did?
Yeah, someone's being a fucking baby, I guess. But whatever, I don't care.
Okay.
He didn't even say anything that was that bad, right?
No, and
he just said he didn't like Ari Aster, and I don't give a shit. Who cares?
If somebody quits for him not liking Ari Aster...
Yeah. Who cares?
That seems weird.
It was weird, but... Maika
Who was it?
I don't know. It's an exit survey. They don't say who it is, but it doesn't matter.
He's an edge master?
Edgelord. It's a term. We don't need to get into it.
What does edgelord mean?
Maika Monroe. It's been a long time since we've seen her.
Has been. You're all grown up, Maika.
Of course. Anna in The Guest, and her big breakout, Jamie J. Height in It Follows. Then she did a bunch of sci-fi stuff that I didn't really necessarily love. The Fifth Wave, she had a big role in Independence Day Resurgence, which I didn't love very much. She was in a movie that I caught at South by Southwest that's a non-horror film. I think at the time it was called Shotgun, and now it got renamed After Everything. It's a really sweet, like, rom-dram. So if you're looking for that, check it out. We did see her back in 2018. We covered Greta.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how we landed.
Fine,
It was fine, I think, is where we landed on that. I think that was a tone and pacing problems. It had nothing to do with Maika's performance. But
so you want to hear something else interesting about Maika?
Yeah, I do.
So
kiteboarding.
What?
Kiteboarding.
She's kiteboarding?
She's a professional kiteboarder.
What?
Did you know that?
Hi, I'm Maika Monroe. I'm a professional kiteboarder and actress. I started kiteboarding when I was about 13 years old. My dad taught me. I really fell in love with it.
That is so fucking random and
Before
weird.
Before she was an actor, she was a professional kiteboarder. I mean, her real name, of course, is Dylan Monroe Buckley. Such a kiteboarding name.
Where did Maika come from?
I don't know, actually. But it is what they called her from an early age.
Was she born in 93? She's fucking 12 years old.
No, she's currently 29 and born in 93. So, I mean, how old do you feel now?
So old.
But yeah, at the age of 17, she left Santa Barbara and moved to the Dominican Republic to continue training in kiteboarding, kite surfing, or kiting. After spending previous summers there, she subsequently completed her senior year of high school online. Young star. Took the kiting world by storm, but left it all.
For It Follows.
Well, I mean, she did a couple things before that, but...
Okay, so there's a really interesting interview with the director. Sorry, not to get hung up on the director, but I do think that Chloe's a pretty interesting person. They're asking at the end of the interview, what's up next? And so obviously she talks about the dating game thing. She also...
I mean, we could save this for the end of this whole bit. We could talk about her current movie and then talk about what she's working on next.
Okay, but it was a specific thing about Maika. Okay, fine. Go ahead.
I just think it would be a good idea.
Fine!
Please don't yell at me. Not publicly.
Ugh.
Bucharest. Julia, played by Maika Monroe, moves here with her husband, Francis. He works in marketing. I believe he's Romanian, so he knows the language, or at least his mother was Romanian. Did he ever live here?
I don't know. I mean, he was pretty fluent. I feel like he must have had part of his life there.
I really like the settling in scene. It really developed a tight and quick bond between them. Mm-hmm. Seemingly healthy relationship right off the bat. They move into their apartment, and she enjoys this large picture window view, but she kind of quickly notices this silhouetted man in the window across, staring at her. That staring doesn't happen infrequently as time goes on.
brought some interesting things to mind. So Sam is a very progressive partner.
Yeah.
I mean, like, he's primary caregiver for the kids, and he's very, like, borderline feminazi, I would say, and all of these things. But he has this one really weird hang-up.
Kind of close the windows.
Like, if I am walking around the house naked...
Well,
and like the curtains are drawn, and like somebody
he's very protective of that.
He freaks out, and I'm like, Sam, nobody gives a shit.
Well, and also, you live up in the mountains.
I do, and the reality is, like, I truly do not care.
Yeah,
people have much better things to look at, and like they're whatever. Like, I just don't care.
If someone catches a quick glimpse of something, who the fuck cares?
Whatever. Especially when I'm like in my bra and underwear or something, I'm like, this is no less than a swimsuit. Like, fucking chill, man. He's gotten better about it, because it was one of these things that just drove me crazy. I'm like, it's
and you
like,
would like do it to like
right. I'm like, this is like
him?
Such a weird, like, overbearing, possessive male thing to do that nothing else you do matches. Why do you do this? So anyhow,
well, I wonder what that is.
I think it's an ingrained safety thing. Actually, I think it's connected to his weird gun stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's this idea that if you expose yourself, that it could cause...
Right, and that, like, there's going to be a nut job. That like, but anyhow...
Well, like this situation.
Right, and I was thinking about this as she was staring at that window. Yeah. I don't know, that is always... Even though I think Sam is over the top with that stuff, it has creeped me out to think about being in a big city, having these big windows that really tons of people can look into and see all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of movies that this plays into, right? Very Hitchcockian themes here with Rear Window, obvi.
Yeah.
And what was that movie that was last year with Amy Adams?
Oh, I don't...
That was like similar vibes to that.
That one got hit so hard by COVID. Like,
I loved it.
Did you
I
watch
thought it was...
it?
Yeah, Sam and I watched it. We thought it was so fun.
And what was that called? It was The Woman in the Window.
There you go.
But I think that one like stuttered out. Like, it was going to have a theatrical, and then Netflix picked it up, and no one really checked it out.
It just fizzled, which was really a bummer.
It is a bummer.
We should go back and comb through movies from like that 3-year chunk of time. I mean, this was a freaking Oldman.
It was an Oldman. It was Anthony Mackie was in there too.
Julianne Moore, Jennifer Jason Leigh.
That's a hell of a cast.
Wyatt, good old Wyatt.
Love Wyatt
you
Russell.
love Wyatt.
Yeah, he's great.
He's your man.
I'll have to check it out. It is rated R. I appreciate.
But yeah,
that,
so all of the window stuff immediately had me feeling strong things.
Not something that I feel, but maybe that's because of my gender.
Well, also, you don't have a partner who has spent a lot of energy freaking out. I mean, like, it's been a point of contention for like 13 years with us. Like,
so Julia, I mean, her anxiousness, aside from being in a place where she doesn't necessarily feel comfortable, she doesn't know the language, she doesn't. This is a true fish out of water story.
Ooh, hold on to that fish out of water. Put a pin in that. We're coming back to that at the end.
Well, speaking of other animals, the spider. Local serial killer. Dubbed the spider by local media. You know, he's been out decapitating young women. It's also interesting. Her partner is trying to hide her from the details of this case. I mean, there must be something about their relationship that she's sensitive to these types of situations, that he would want to hide the details of this from her. I don't think that that's ever explicitly discussed, but...
Yeah, I don't either.
She spends her days kind of exploring the city in almost Amelie type ways, but there's this kind of looming dread and tension that follows her around when she starts noticing that she may be being followed.
Yep.
Into the movie theater, into a convenience store where she has to make a quick exit out the back door.
Well, yeah.
I mean, if there's a man following you.
Okay. And
wait, what? What did I say?
Nothing.
Okay.
One of the things that I really like about this movie is, I would say, up until the last 10 minutes, I changed my mind probably a dozen times.
Yeah, you don't know
about what was actually going on, okay? Which is what makes this movie really fascinating to me. It does a really great job of just building discomfort, and you aren't entirely sure what the source of the discomfort is. And at least for me, I kept alternating, like, okay, this is why, or maybe not, actually, maybe this is why.
Yeah.
It could have feasibly played out a number of different directions, all of which would have felt really natural, I think, based on the way the movie was built. It wasn't like a red herring where it was suddenly a Shyamalan, but it also wasn't an obvious.
You're questioning the
whole
narrator
time.
the entire time. And there is almost like a voyeuristic element to the film where it plays out without really pushing you in any direction.
Yep.
Whatever's on screen is all the information you have. This isn't a film of info dumps. And I mean, also kind of like Bavarian Sound Studio, a lot of this is in a different language. And you are experiencing it the same way she is. You don't know what they're saying.
No clue. And the little teeny tiny pieces of like tether or comfort that she latches onto are pretty tenuous. And I just...
Well, what about her new friend?
Really nice, but even that, like, you can tell there's more than meets the eye going on.
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily a genuine friendship.
Well, it was a very needy friendship, I think.
And slightly transactional.
Yeah, and it may have evolved into something more than that, but it was very, I don't know. This, I felt like there was more genuine character development and empathy eliciting than 99% of horror movies that we watch.
You know, it definitely walks a well-worn horror trope path, but it does it in a way that's like a more traditional drama. The characters are a lot richer than some of the movies that we've seen.
Yeah, how much of are we going to give away, B?
I mean, we're probably not going to give away the end, right?
Okay, that's fine. That's totally fine.
I mean, would you like to do the end?
No. No.
Would discussing it change anything about...
Well, my ultimate feelings on it are kind of tied to it. But one of the pieces that made the story very interesting and made me invested in her character and in what was actually going on, I felt so bad for her because she was trying really hard to make a uncomfortable situation work. You could tell she was really trying to be supportive. This could just be crazy, Kelly. Okay, and somebody's going to get mad about me saying this. But one of the themes that I felt was very subtly represented was this idea of a very happy partnership with supportive partners.
Yeah.
And on its face, it looks like very modern. Partway through the movie, to me, it started to feel like, oh, it's not though. Like this is almost like a Mad Men scenario.
Yeah, he fell into like an old, more traditional...
Right. And it wasn't just like the telling jokes at her expense. That was kind of like the peak of it. But even before that, I'm sorry, but he was kind of a dick.
He was.
And the whole mentality around when she was freaking out.
And he has to work late.
Right. But she's freaking out. And in these initial scenes, and I'm expecting him to be like a jerk. And instead he's like, well... let's go to the store. Let's go to the store and look. And I'm like, oh, that's such a great thing to do. And then the more I thought about it, I'm like, no, not really. It's like a bare bones thing to do because he has drugged this woman who supposedly he loves across the country. And she, although I'm sure she agreed to it, is in this wildly miserable scenario where she is completely isolated.
Yeah.
She is very unhappy. She is in the midst of changing careers. She has clearly undergone some kind of trauma that is never really addressed fully. And he is essentially leaving her unsupported, allowing her to feel as though she should be doing okay. Which
I think why I like that is because it feels really relatable. Because unfortunately, I feel like all of us, if you've had significant long-term relationships, you go through these waves of balancing personal goals and your relationship.
Yep.
And how much you can give to your partner at any time. And I mean, he did do asshole things, but at the same time, they're understandable because he's trying so hard to get this other part of his life.
But see,
to
this
work.
is where I really pivoted, and I'm like, no, fuck him. This is like part of the gaslighting.
And that's why you brought up gaslighting. Because there are elements of gaslighting. And I'm not saying that it's good. I'm just saying it's relatable.
It is very relatable. And I felt like, no, this isn't one of those things where they're in this community that they're both really tethered in and he's working a lot because he's trying to build a career. Like he has given this 1-2 gut punch of, I am taking you away from everything comfortable and familiar.
Or we are leaving.
We are leaving, right? And I am going to basically disconnect as well.
Because I'm sure that they had the conversation like, I'm going to be in this place where I know nothing and can't understand anything.
Right. And she, being a fairly independent woman and it being like a
who knows
ostensibly
what
progressive
her career
relationship
was at, or where her mental state was at too.
But for her, she's like, yeah, I'll be fine. I got this. I'm okay. But as things evolved, him making her feel like she was some kind of a burden because she wasn't perfectly fine. Even if you leave this weird "am I being stalked" thing out of it, like
Sure.
even if you just completely
Forgot
remove
about
that
the,
element,
forgot about the active serial killer stalking her.
right? But it isn't
May or
okay
may
the
not
way
stalk.
that he's treating her,
Yeah.
and it becomes this. I don't think it's necessarily intentional, but just very. I don't know. Maybe it's like a statement about millennial self-absorption, like. He's not a good partner. He's a shit partner.
No. I guess on the note of gaslighting, we should probably walk up to a couple points where she, her new friend's boyfriend or ex-boyfriend or on and off relationship, she gets him to go knock on the door of the person across on the other side in the building, in the window where the man stands. I said a lot of different ways about
That's okay.
the place where the guy's at. Later that night, after that happens, the police and the man show up at their apartment. And the police basically say the man says that she's been following him and that he thought that they were just being friendly neighbors. The police force her to shake the hand of this man that's been stalking her. So it's three men kind of forcing her to be okay with this situation.
Right. And to choke down the idea that actually you're just as at fault. We kind of didn't believe you and we were just going along. But now that he's come and told us something, we're totally taking that as fact. And you're going to have to just be okay with this situation and stop being so silly.
Yep.
Okay. Are we going to do dead giveaways or no?
I don't think so.
All right.
We are going to do highs and lows, though.
Like favorite point and least favorite point?
Yes, you're familiar. We've done it 3 times now.
Well, that's not long enough to register in my brain. Are you fucking kidding me?
Okay.
High point, last scene. My favorite thing was literally like the last shot of the movie. Was my absolute favorite thing in the movie. Loved.
Cool.
Loved.
It's a lot of fun.
I felt very heard. That last shot was the antidote to everything that made me feel nauseous about the scary of 61st.
Okay.
It really was.
I mean, yeah.
It really was.
Immediately, you did tell me that this is how someone attempts to recreate a Polanski.
Yeah, how somebody creates an inspired work influenced by Polanski that is skilled and artistic and impressive and thought-provoking rather than trashy and pathetic.
Cool. Low point.
Jacob, did you hear me?
Okay. He's probably, yes, he heard you.
Edgelord.
Leave him alone. He owes us $6 every month until he replaces that patron.
I still don't know what an edgelord is. But
It's okay. Ask Jacob.
Jacob, what's an edgelord?
Okay, continue.
Low point. I'm really struggling because I really like this movie. Low point as in like the part that I felt least comfortable. I didn't think it was poorly done, but like the lowest I felt in the movie was when they were at this
You're cheating.
fancy event and she ascertained that she was being mocked in another language, which was just like the crowning blow to, yep, you're actually now being ostracized and treated as an outsider by the one person
who's supposed to have your back.
Yeah, literally the only person that was like, I hope you beat the shit out of him. He's an asshole.
High point. Maika Monroe is absolutely amazing.
She is.
God damn it. And very, very pretty.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, and visually, incredibly shot film. This is...
Can I say that the neighbor's terrifyingly evil face was my high point because he was so...
High point and low point?
Yeah.
Yeah. My low point, though, it's a pretty straightforward film. I'm going to call this like not even a low point. It's a midpoint. Like, it's totally fine. Without even like giving up the end of this film, it's so straightforward. The story is really simple, but they do it in a really incredible way. So how is that a low point? Beats me. Kelly, final thoughts.
For those of you who watch this movie, I would love for you to reach out by email or on Discord or whatever, because I want to talk about that very last shot. The look on Maika's face demonstrates why she's such a great actress and also why this movie, I think, is so much more than meets the eye. At least I had no idea the direction it was going to take in the end. And it was different from a Shyamalan in the sense that I was like looking for like the cool giant twist that was going to come. It was much more of an authentic buying into the story and really wanting to figure out what went on. It was much more along the lines of a Hitchcock movie where you wanted to solve the mystery in the end. You weren't waiting for the giant jump scare. And for that reason, not only am I going to give this a really high score, Byron, but I am fully revising my categorization of favorite types of horror movies.
In what sense?
Okay, so I've always said that ghost and alien movies are my faves.
Oh,
right?
Okay.
Category 3, gaslighting movies are now my...
You enjoy them?
Yeah.
How is it more acceptable than like a relationship horror?
I mean, most relationship horror involves some kind of gaslighting, but
like
for example, Lake House. Loved.
It's not called the Lake House. It's called the Other House. It's the
whatever the one is with Rebecca.
Night House.
Night House. Night House was to me an interesting version of relationship horror and also involved gaslighting.
Yeah.
But those movies are, I think, just because that is the most realistic fear that I have.
Yeah.
Is not being believed.
Oh, totally makes sense.
I hate it. Thinking about it makes my skin crawl.
Yeah.
I am very sensitive to it with my kids. Like, I make a huge point of, you must always tell me the truth because I will always believe you, and I don't want you to fuck that up. As long as you tell me the truth, it doesn't matter how crazy you bring something with me to me. I will believe you. I will believe you. You will always have somebody to believe you.
Yeah.
Because I think that is the most scary thing in the world. If you've got somebody who supports you and truly believes you, you can make it through a lot of shit. But if you are alone and no one will trust what is coming out of your mouth.
Not only alone, but you had the expectation of the opposite.
Right. And for women, I believe that often leads to then doubting your own worth and sanity and whether what you're thinking is accurate. And we've all been in these situations, whether it's with relationships or jobs or education or anything. I think it is one of the most insanely influential horrors that interferes with our lives. So gaslighting horror, my new third favorite genre. Maika Monroe is incredible. I cannot wait for this director to make her next movie.
Well, it's already done. Rodney.
Yeah, but no, this is, you don't know.
You've got a scoop.
I've got a scoop.
Should I do my review real quick though?
Well, should I give it my score?
Yeah.
I give Watcher 8.6 slam down glasses of champagne.
You know, after writing 20-page script for last week's show, you'd think I would have written my final thoughts out. I apologize.
No.
Chloe Okuno really proven herself here. Her segment in VHS 94 was, I think, my second favorite. And honestly, it displays quite a bit of range because that was a arguably goofy anthology series. This is a pretty emotionally competent and serious. It's very much a tight, concise, intentional film. I wonder what someone else would have done with this story, what twists, quote unquote, would have been involved. But it turns out you really don't need it to make a successful film. You just have to have competent actors, beautiful cinematography, and a solid director at the helm. So
good.
For all those reasons, I give Watcher 7.5 coffee table drawers.
Love it.
And those are our thoughts on Watcher. And those are our thoughts on Watcher, which is available now on VOD.
Pure, elegant, simple, and really effective storytelling.
Check it out. And once you have, let us know what you think. Kelly, I see you're thinking right now, what's next beyond my dating game movie?
There's this mermaid horror movie.
All right. So until next week.
No, I'm dead serious. Listen to me.
Okay.
This is a quote from Chloe. There's this mermaid horror movie that I have with the Watcher producers.
I don't understand.
I hope whatever I do next that Maika will be a part of it.
I mean, she's a kiter.
If she plays a horror-themed mermaid, I am so...
I mean, she's probably going to be in the water, though. She is a very talented water sports...
Maybe it's about a kiteboarder that's actually a mermaid.
Extreme water sports. Is everyone going to the sea? Rob Savage, last week he talked about Sea Home, which is about an unidentified creature that washes up on the shore. I feel like there's a handful.
When does that come out?
I don't know. I think it's in development right now. But that's kind of cool. I would be excited to see Chloe and Maika team up again. Recipe for a lot of success there. But what do you guys think? You could reach us, DM us on Twitter or Instagram at Frightday. Send us an email, contact@frightday.com. I feel like our show will help us make it even better. You can grab something spooky at shop.frightday.com. Hot sauce is dropping soon. When Kelly's on the coast, I'm going to wrap up the new label designs.
Are you going to send them the gross ones or the good ones?
Well, they have the option of buying all
Don't
three
buy the gross
kinds.
shit. Please don't buy the gross shit.
It's probably good to somebody. It's very hot, though, so might want to put a warning label on that one. But, Kelly, until next week, where are you going to be?
At Kelly Frightday on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
I will be checking my email, kelly@frightday.com. I will try to pop into Discord.
And in that email, you're expecting some
True Tales of Terror. Or else you're all getting a Kelly creepypasta. Kelly original.
Don't threaten that.
I'm threatening
it. It's not happening.
No, it will if we don't get enough stuff.
Factually frightening events that have happened to you, get them in. Kelly@frightday.com. It's almost time for True Tales of Terror.
It is my favorite.
Looking forward to it.
I do love it.
And I'm at Byron McKoy on Twitter and Instagram. Byron@frightday.com is my email address.
Oh, Byron, I forgot to tell you. This place that we're staying, I still can't remember if you've been to this place or not, the one that's actually on the water.
Okay.
I don't know if you have. I kind of don't think you have, but maybe you have been. I don't think that you have. I don't think that you have.
Covered VHS 94.
No, I'm 95% sure that you haven't been.
Okay.
There is a deck that we are going to set up on to record that literally all you can hear is the ocean.
Sound.
All you can hear is the ocean.
It's too loud.
All you can hear is the ocean, and it's going to be glorious.
Absolutely not
it's going to
happen.
It's going to be great.
And until next Frightday,
everyone,
I'm Byron.
I'm Kelly. Stay away from partners who don't believe you.
And stay scared.
Yeah.
You've been listening to an Audio Wool original, produced by Byron McKoy. Theme music provided by Cemeteries. For more programs like this, visit audiowool.co.